While the rest of the country digs out from winter, southern Nevadans have already welcomed spring. Your landscape is embracing warmer weather too. As your plants start to wake from dormancy, you may be tempted to water them more, but patience is a virtue, and it's better to keep a watchful eye on your landscape rather than jump right into increased watering. Spring watering restrictions allow for watering 3 days a week. So why does the SNWA recommend easing into the increased watering schedule?
Well, the spring temperatures are still pretty mild, so although we're just watering once a week now, the temperatures are still low, so the landscapes don't need a lot of extra water. So we recommend easing into a second day before adding a third day. So it's healthier for the plants and the landscapes tend to do better.
In March and April, both sprinkler and drip watering are limited to 3 assigned days a week. Watering on Sunday is never permitted. If you don't know your watering days, visit snwa.com for help or contact your water provider directly. Running your irrigation outside of your assigned watering days could result in a water waste fine. Complying with watering restrictions is one way you can help the valley conserve water. Watering your landscape wisely is another. This includes treating sprinkler and drip systems differently to match the needs of your landscape. The difference between sprinklers and drip irrigation can be confusing to some people. So what is the key difference between these two irrigation systems?
There's a big difference between the two types of irrigation, and primarily it is with the amount of water that the systems are putting out. So for lawn sprinklers, they put out water very quickly and cover a large area. And drip irrigation is just the opposite. It puts out a small, precise amount of water right at the plant. So you don't want to schedule the two together because you put out water in very different rates.
Now that you know the difference between sprinklers and drip, let's look at how long and how often you should run each system. If you have grass, run your sprinklers 3 times a day, at least an hour apart, only on your assigned watering day. Run each cycle for 4 minutes. That means your total run time doesn't exceed 12 minutes for the day. These shorter sips of water deter runoff and are healthier for your grass. Now, let's switch to drip irrigation. The key here is to water your plants and trees less often. Running drip too many days a week is the biggest mistake homeowners make. Plants simply don't need that much water. In spring, you can get by with watering your plants 1 to 2 days a week and only once a day. You will, however, need to run your drip cycle a little longer than you run sprinklers.
Well, drip irrigation, because it puts out water very slowly, you tend to run it for longer durations. If your drip emitter is just putting out literally drips of water at a time, that's a very low volume. You may be running that system from 30 to 90 minutes for each cycle. If the drip emitter has multiple outlets or you see water streaming out of it, that's a shorter run time because the water volume is higher. That might only be 15 to 30 minutes per cycle.
If you've got landscaping projects planned this spring, the key is to think smart from the start. New desert-adapted plants will need extra watering as they get established, which is allowed for the first 30 days under watering restrictions. After that, it's time to scale back. Finally, give your irrigation a once-over after each mowing, or at least once a month if you only have desert landscaping. Look for misaligned heads and replace broken parts immediately to avoid water waste. Check your drip for broken or cracked lines and clogged emitters. It's a good idea to flush your drip line through the end cap in both spring and fall. For more spring watering tips, visit us at snwa.com.